Hi, grade 8 students. So here I am again, your teacher Lay, and I'm here to discuss about relation and function. So we're now in our week 4. So I'm going to discuss how to solve or answer the learning task in your self-learning modules. So let's start. So here it is. Let's start with the learning task 2. So here is the instruction. So tell whether the given set of ordered pairs, table of values, arrow diagram, or graph is a function or simply relation. That's A. And B, identify also the domain and the range. And lastly, if it is a function, write the equation in function notation form. So let's do this. So for numbers 1 to 6, so what are we going to do first? Let us know whether the given set of ordered pairs in the table of values, the arrow diagram is function or relation. So let's define function again. A function is a special type of relation, and it is a relation in which every element in the domain is mapped exactly one element in the range. So therefore, or thus, a set of ordered pairs is a function if no two distinct ordered pairs have equal abscissas. So take a look at number 1. Um, in here, we have the following abscissas. Okay, we have -2. Here are the first uh, coordinates, -2, -1, 0, and 1. And have you noticed that there is no repeated um, element of the domain? So therefore, this is a function. Okay, just think of that. Make sure that there is no repeated element of the domain. Okay, so meaning it is mapped exactly to one element in the range. So that's it. So how about number 2? Okay, 4, 4. See? Notice that there is a repeated element, a repeated number. So therefore, it is not a function. So that's how we identify whether a given relation or set of ordered pairs is a relation or function. Okay, so the same with the table of values here, -3, -2, 0, 2, and 3, and there is no repeated element, therefore it is a function. Let's proceed with number 6. So you can see we have 2, and 2 is mapped not just once but twice. 2 is mapped into two elements in the range, so therefore it doesn't satisfy the definition of a function, which is map exactly one element in the range. So it is not a function. Not just 2, but also 6. So 2 elements in the domain are mapped twice in the elements of the range. So not a function. Okay, I hope you learned that. Next is what will be our domain and the range. So let's start with the definition again. Domain is the set of all first coordinates. So let's use number 1 again as our example. So the domain will be -2, -1, 0, 1. And it is written in a set form. Okay? Braces and then the elements, it's up to you. Better if it is arranged from least to greatest or what. That's a general rule, I think. So we have -2, -1, 0, and 1 separated by a comma. How about the range? The set of all second coordinates. So we have here -4, -3, -2, and -1. That's for number 1. Okay? The rest, you can do it by yourself. So for our function notation form, look at number 1. So we just need to discover how we get the range out of the domain. So we have -2 and -4. What's the relationship between the two? So if we are looking for the range, which is -4, how did we come up with -4 out of -2, the domain? So as you can see, -4 from -2, the relationship between them maybe not just maybe but really we just add -2 to the domain, and the same with the others. Let's say -2 plus -2, it will give us -4. In the next ordered pair, -1 plus -2, it will give us -3. 0 plus -2, it will give us -2. Or 1 plus -1 plus -2 is -1. Okay? I hope the range is equal to the domain plus -2 or -2. As simple as that. So that's how we get the function notation form. Okay, let's proceed with number 7, 8, 9, 10. So, given now is a graph. So, how are we going to identify to know whether the given graph is a function or not? Let's proceed. What are we going to use is to do the vertical line test. And what is the vertical line test? It says that if every vertical line intersects the graph no more than once, the graph represents a function. So meaning, we just need to draw a vertical line and let's follow. If the vertical line that we draw intersects the graph more than once, then the graph represent no more than once, then the graph represents a function. If the graph vertical line intersects the graph more than once, then it does not represent a function. So let's try for number 7. So here is the vertical line, and as you can see, there is only one intersection point. So meaning it is a function. Kahit saan, kahit saan ako maglagay ng vertical line, it will give me only one intersection point between the vertical line and the graph. Did you get it? Let's have for number 8. As you can see, there are two intersection points. Therefore, it is not a function. So it is not a function. Now, for our next task is to get the domain and the range. Okay. So what will be the domain? So our domain is, as you can see, the line has all the integers, not just integers, all the real numbers in the x-axis, okay, as our set of all first coordinates. So meaning the domain will be written as the set of all x, okay, such that x is an element of the real numbers. Okay, so everything, okay, you can find in a number line, all real numbers are part of the domain. Okay, so we can't list them because it is infinite. So this is how we write it. It is in the form of set builder notation. Okay, let's proceed with the range. How about the range? What will be the range? As you can see, they have 3. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. So the range will be 3 only. How about in letter B? So in letter B, what we're going to do is to given the set of domain, which is -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. We're going to construct table of values that will satisfy the following. Number 1, the range is 2 more than the domain. Okay, let's do number 1. So let's say this is my table of values. Okay, I already inserted the domain -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and we just need to follow the instruction. We just need to satisfy that the range is 2 more than the domain. So what we're going to do is to simply add 2 to each element of the domain. So -3 plus 2 is -1, -2 plus 2 is 0, -1 plus 2 is 1, 0 plus 2 is 2, 1 plus 2 is 3, 2 plus 2 is 4, and 3 plus 2 is 5. So that's it. So we constructed a table of values that really satisfy our the number 1 instruction. So the same with number 2, 3, 4, and 5, just need to follow. So let's say number 2, domain is half the range. So you just need to multiply it by 2 since it is half the range, yung domain. So the range is square of the domain, so we just need to get the square of the domain. Then the range is thrice the domain, decreased by 2. Just follow the instruction. Next is, if you want to know the, here it is, letter C, the function notation of numbers 1 to 5. Of course, we'll just answer number 1. So function notation form, we use x for the main and y for the range. So therefore, so we get the domain and the range by adding 2 to the domain. So it will give us y is equal to x plus 2. We just add 2 to the element of domain. Okay, to each element of the domain. So therefore, we have this as our function notation form. Y is equal to x plus 2. Okay, I hope you get that. Let's proceed. Learning task 3. So this is changing the following into the form of fx equals mx plus b. If you can still remember, this is just a slope-intercept form. Just need to rewrite each equation into slope-intercept form, which you have learned already in the first quarter. And so, number 1, we have y minus 3x equals 7 will be written in the slope-intercept form as y equals 3x plus 7. And then second, we just need to replace y by f of x. So therefore, we have f of x is equal to 3x plus 7. And that will be the answer. So 2 steps, easy to remember, right? So perform it well. And let it be complete across number puzzle. So we just need to follow this. So given number 1, let's say number 1 across, f of x is equal to 3x squared plus 8x minus 5, and given that f of 6. So what does it mean? F of 6, number 1, means you replace x with 6. Number 2, no, not number 2, but number 7, rather. So f of 8, you replace x with 8. So let's try number 1. So given that f of x, I just replace x by 6. So it will become 3 times 6 squared plus 8 times 6 minus 5. So simplifying it, I'll get, oh, you repeated, I will get 151. So therefore, across, we have 3-digit number, 151. So just write it inside the puzzle, the cross number puzzle, 151. And then evaluate everything, and then you will get the answer, okay? But there's a correction with that in number 6 and 9. I forgot what's the wrong there, but there's wrong between, it's either 6 or 9. I don't remember. Let's proceed with the next. Letter C. Graph the functions and find the slope, x-intercepts, and y-intercepts, and the equation of the line. Okay, I will no longer discuss this. Why? You have learned that last quarter. So, that will be all. Goodbye and thank you. Much obliged to you for learning with me. Teacher Lay. Bye.